And we are recording. So welcome guys to our live Q&A with my success partner, Ashlie and I. So we like to have these about once a month. We feel it's a really fun way for just to get all questions answered and just kind of hang with both of our teams. It's really, really nice to see all these faces on here. Oh, wow.
I know.
Yay. You say anything?
Yes. So, and I'll say something too, I guess. I think we did decide at the beginning of the year, right, Letty, that the last call of every month, we're going to run these Q&A, unless they start getting so big, then maybe we'll run them individually. But we're going to host this, once a month, I think last call of every month. So it'll just be live Q&A, whoever has questions. And I know that it's very scary to unmute yourself and ask a question. If you don't want to do that, you can just type it in the chat box. If you want to push your comfort zone, which I think is very rad and brave, and I love when people get out of their comfort zone, then just unmute yourself and ask the question. But we never plan anything for these, so they are your calls, and we will talk about whatever you want to. I did have a couple questions asked that if no one comes forward right away, we can just start there. But does anyone, do you have anything else, Letty, before we open up?
Nope.
Does anyone have any questions?
Oh, let me go back to the gallery.
I think you guys have the power to unmute yourself if you want to.
Yeah, everyone should have the power to unmute yourself. If you can't, just wave at us and we'll...
Yeah, we're trying to scroll through. Oops.
Or we can start with some that you have, just to let people warm up.
Okay, so the one question that I did, well, I got a couple, let me see. Okay, so the first question that I got was, what are your 5 tips for recruiting new coaches to your team? And I was like, 5 tips, I don't know if I have them. So maybe I'll have a couple and Letty will have a couple, but I bet they're gonna be the same thing because there's not really a lot of secrets that you guys don't already know about. So my number one tip, and if you guys have had, I know my team has heard me say this lately, my number one tip is to start talking about coaching publicly. When people are like, I only have discount coaches. How do I get people that want to work the business? You get people that want to work the business by talking about how you're working the business. So you have to, and this, if you didn't listen to Bonnie's wake up call, Bonnie Engel, she did the wake up call 2 Mondays last Monday. It was amazing. And this is where I learned this strategy every single day. And I also recommend you go to her page and check it out, because if you're like, how do I post about coaching? I don't know what that means. She does a really good way of, I have a lot of ideas from her page of just sharing the freedom that it provides, or the community that it provides, or the support or the accountability to your own journey that it provides financially, anything that it's done for you. For me, I can talk about how much it's helped me mentally and deal with depression. So there are all kinds of ways that you can talk about coaching. And we are so comfortable posting about our fitness journeys. And, we share our workout every day. We share our shake, sometimes every day, sometimes a couple times a week. And you talk about challenge groups and all this stuff. What we need to be doing is doing that same thing with coaching. So I have a goal that every single day I want to post something about what coaching has done for me. So today I posted about, we had this meeting in the middle of the day, and it went 90 minutes. It was at 1 o'clock, and I started thinking about what that was like when I had a 90-minute meeting at 1 o'clock when I worked in corporate. I dreaded those meetings, and they would make me fall asleep. And I would be like, how do I get out of this meeting? I would have to leave the bathroom a few times so I wouldn't fall asleep in the chair. And so I just made a post about that, about how much my meetings have changed, how I look forward to meetings now. So it's very simple things that I'm sharing. And I have a goal every single day to share about coaching and what that has done for my life, so that you have people that are coming to you wondering what coaching is and not just about this fitness thing. Letty, do you have another tip?
Definitely that one. I always tell my coaches that should be our 4th vital behavior in this business. Be proof the products work, personal development, inviting, and be proof this business works. I shared this with my team not too long ago. I don't know, someone posted this or someone sent it to me, but it was another coach, another team, how she was saying how as a mom, she had stopped getting her nails done and getting her hair done because we can obviously relate to that, right? She just didn't have the money for it. She's a mom, so she had to make sacrifices. And how she was so thankful for Beachbody because she all last year was able to get her hair done and her nails done with her Beachbody income. You think about it, she's not making a whole bunch of money, and that's okay, but she's making enough to get, you know, her nails and her hair done. So how many women out there would kill to be able to have that little extra money to do things like that? So I think a lot of times it's like we get in our heads, because I know I used to, and I used to compare myself like, well, I'm not making, you know, this much yet. I'm not this rank yet. I can't talk about that yet. Now you got to earn, you know, like Ashlie always says, you got to own where you are. And even if you're only making $5 extra a week, like you got to think about who would kill to make $5 extra a week, you know? Anyways, I really like that post, and it really made me think how we need to share more about that. I mean, I'm with Ashlie too. I try to every single day share how my business is just changing my life. Like yesterday, I was sharing how I love to take naps and how anytime during the day, I can go and take a nap. And I do. It's usually 3 p.m. But what I wanted to add to that is just also another tip is just stick to I guess try to narrow down your reach. I had a coach reach out to me, and she was asking me how she could attract more men into her business. And I said, I don't know, because I really don't target men. You know, could I try? Yeah, I probably could try, but that's not my tribe. If you try to attract everyone, you end up not attracting anyone. So definitely try to stick to your tribe. Like my tribe is mainly, a lot of it is teachers, because I used to be a teacher. Latinas, not that they're all Latinas, but because I am Latina and I talk about that. So definitely sit down and try to think of at least 3 or 5 things that you are that make up who you are. And that's eventually who you're going to be able to reach and target. So it's not going to be everyone. I mean, that's okay, because you definitely are going to relate more to those who are like you and like-minded. Like, you know, like Ashley's team, I can see a lot of resemblance in like Ashley's coaches, and you could probably see a lot of resemblance in my coaches. And that's the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to attract everyone towards you. So that's, I guess, the other tip that I would say is just definitely try to stick to who you are, and your tribe will eventually, what is it? Your tribe, your vibe
attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
And then only other tip, I think there's only 3 ways I recruit coaches. One is when they're signing up initially, I offer them the 2 ways to order. They can order as a customer or a coach, both cost the same. Just one gets them a discount in the future and one doesn't. I offer that to every single person that orders the challenge pack. If you're not doing that, stop not doing it and start offering that to everyone. That, of course, is going to get you a lot of discount coaches. But I started as a discount coach. You never discount the discount coach. And that still grows your team and your volume, so that's good. So that's my first way. My second way is when I'm running challenge groups, I like to send messages to my challengers and just say, hey, I think you're doing awesome. You're so inspiring. How are you liking the group? And just getting some feedback from them on that, dialoguing with them, building them up, and then asking them as the group is ending, you know, you're already doing basically what I do. Have you ever considered coaching? So that's the second way, is someone that's already a challenger. And then the third way is just those public posts that we're talking about, getting people coming to us asking what coaching is about. But those are really the only three ways that I recruit coaches. I mean, now we have the sneak peeks, so I guess that maybe is a 4th way. But you know, I don't know if I have 5 tips for it, but I think the biggest area of improvement that we all could do is do more of those public posts. So I think that's the number one thing. I didn't have any other questions did you have any other questions in your group, Letty?
Yeah, I have one from, let's see. So I have one from a coach. She's asking, she just recently started her own group with her coaches. So her team is just now starting to grow. And she took that huge leap of faith, or got out of her comfort zone, started her group, whatever. But she's having an issue with just motivating the coaches in her group to participate. She's trying like the whole wake up call Monday, team shout out Tuesday, thanks for Thursday. But she's kind of getting crickets. So she's asking what tips would help with that. Or is it, she's like, and she knows it's early and it's normal. And yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I remember when I first opened up Team Living Fit, there was like 3 of us in there, and I was probably one of them. And it was like crickets. It's like I was talking to myself, but the whole time I just kept thinking, like, imagining that I was talking to just, I don't know, a whole bunch of people, and all these people were commenting. But it's just, that's just the way it is at first. It's like when you have a challenge group, it's kind of dead because everyone's kind of shy. So it's the same thing when you open up your team group. In the beginning, don't be surprised if you do feel like you're talking to yourself. I remember it took probably to get a first or 2 rock stars to kind of get the ball rolling. I guess the tip I would have for that is reach out to your coaches like privately and ask them to do something. Give them that leadership role, and a lot of them will be honored that you're asking. Like, for example, you can just reach out to them, a coach privately, like, hey, do you mind sharing your national wake up call get takeaways today in the group page, and then tag me, and then I'll share. Because again, you get one coach to kind of get that snowball going, and then another starts to follow, and then another starts to follow. But that's my biggest tip, is I would reach out to your coaches individually and ask them, because one, it's going to get them out of the comfort zone. It's going to put them in a leadership role, and they're going to be honored that you are reaching out to them and asking them to do that. What do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite, I say it all the time, and I learned this thing from Amy Silverman, but I always say fake it till you make it. And then at one of the Super Saturdays, she talked about how in the beginning, she acted like she could fill us, when she had no one on her team, she acted like she could sell out a stadium. Like, people would do anything to hear what she had to say. And so I think you have to act like you have something to say before you have something to say. Act like you have a team before you have a team. And that's, I just had a leadership call with my leaders, and that's what we talked about, was starting your team page. If you have one coach, you start a team page, you start hosting team calls. Maybe no one shows up, but you just still try. You have to act like a leader before you're ready to lead. And I know Letty and I both had to do that, because when we came into the business, Danielle wasn't as involved as she is now. And now she's, all over it, but we didn't have team calls to plug people into. We didn't have training groups. We didn't have anything like that. And I think that is maybe partly why we're so successful, was because we had to do it on our own. So I think you need to lead before you feel ready to lead. If there's crickets in your group, you can just share things that are posted in our team pages, that are posted in Team Living Fit or in my team, just share that, because maybe they're not checking both groups. Share things that Fit and Funky is posting. Share things that are in your, the news, whatever, the breaking news thing in your Coach Online office, like updates that are coming out of Beachbody. Share things from your personal development, anything. But every single day, even if it's crickets, you just post in there, because you're acting like a leader. And the more people can start to look at you as a leader, then they'll start to see, one, that probably they can lead too, and then that also duplicates down, so they can start leading their own team. But I think there's a lot of people maybe that are brand new look at Letty and I like, they don't see the bridge from where we started to where we are now. And maybe you can help bridge that gap for them. So you being a leader and, reaching goals and hitting things helps inspire them to actually work the business and go to take their business to the next level, because you're closer to them and you are what inspired them to start coaching in the first place. Not me, not Letty, it was you. That's why they joined with you. So I think you have to fake it till you make it and lead before you feel ready to lead. And even if it's crickets, that's how every like page starts out too. It's all crickets, and it just grows from there. And now there's a lot of team culture in the page, but that's not how it was in the beginning for anyone. I don't care. Even if you wait until you have 200 people, it's probably going to be quiet before you get the culture going. So I just think you have to just do it, even though it's uncomfortable or you feel silly doing it. Act like a leader before you feel like a leader, or before you feel like you're ready to lead. I mean, I think that's all it is.
Agreed.
Okay. Who has any other questions on your team page?
No, that was the only one. I had one that was asking about branding, but I sent her a few videos because I just feel like that does take a lot of more in-depth training. She was asking how you brand yourself, and I know there's been a lot of top coaches who've done trainings on that, so I sent her videos on that, unless you want to add to that?
No, I mean, I do think that there's a lot of stuff on social media training out there, like on YouTube and stuff like that. And the biggest thing I think about branding probably is, be about, like, find what 3 things that you're about and then be a resource for those things. So I think for me, I like food, so I post about recipes. I post a lot about like self-love and just accepting where you're at. And then I like to post about my dogs a lot or beauty things. So I post about those things, and then I want people to come to me knowing that they're going to get fitness, of course, but also that they're going to get these other things. I want to be a resource for other stuff so that, you know, they keep coming to my page. And then I guess probably my biggest secret when it comes to branding is to talk to your former self. So every post should be talking to who, you know, you either before you started the challenge or depending how long you've been a coach. Like when I talk about now, when I tell stories on my post, I talk to the person that I was 2 years ago. So I talked to the person that was struggling, that maybe is dealing with depression, that didn't love the body that they were in, and, you know, was just checking boxes, going through thinking that this corporate ladder climbing was all there was. I'm talking to that person. I'm talking to the old me, because then you're really focusing on your niche. You're really talking to you, and you're, like Letty just said, your vibe attracts your tribe. So I want to attract people that are like me. And because then we're going to connect the most, and we're going to have the most fun when we get together, and you're not going to be offended by things that I say or whatever. So I think just being you and talking to you so that you're not talking to everyone that's probably the best thing for branding. Like be about 3 things, I guess, 3 things that are you, and then talk to you, or have like an avatar in mind of, you know, do they have kids? Do they stay at home, or do they have a full-time job out of the house? Do they like to go to the mountain? Do they love Disneyland? Like whatever your avatar is, which is basically you, then talk to that person instead of being very general. But yeah, I guess and then there's tons more deeper stuff that you can, like Danielle is obviously a great social media guru. She has lots of trainings on that. Okay. Jason, how long did it take for you to find a coach who wanted to run the business? Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Honestly, I don't even remember. But I don't think that that's where your focus needs to be. Because I think a lot of times what we do, and I get this question a lot, like how do I, when I'm starting those conversations, how do I steer the conversation to Beachbody? Or how do I get one of my discount coaches to want to work the business? And it's like, my answer is always you don't. You don't steer the conversation, and you don't get someone that doesn't want to work the business to work the business. You do that by, 1, starting so many conversations that if you're starting 2 to 3 conversations a day, just getting to know people, that is a lot of contacts every single month. And so if you're talking, say 2 people a day, that's 60 people a month. 3 of those people it's going to probably lead to Beachbody. If you're genuinely just talking to them because they're watching what you're doing, they're interested already, you only need 3 of those conversations to lead to Beachbody and say yes to Hit Success Club. And then you're still having those conversations every single month. So you're like, it doesn't matter if all those 57 other people aren't interested in Beachbody right now, because maybe 6 months from now they will, or a year from now, or next month, or whatever. And whenever they're ready to join you, you're going to be ready for their business, right? You're going to be ready to help them. So it doesn't matter when they're ready. You just want to focus on starting enough conversations that you are talking to enough people that you're going to get the yeses that you need now in this month, and you're going to have the conversations that your well never runs dry. So you're just going to keep pumping that well. That's how you find, challengers, and how you hit Success Club. For finding coaches that want to work the business, it's the same thing. I think it's a numbers game. 1, I think like you will recruit coaches that are just in it for the discount. I add everyone, and I'm not sure, I think Letty does this differently, but I add everyone to my team page that I enroll, because I was a discount coach, and I think had I not been added to the Fit and Funky team page way back then, I wouldn't have been inspired to start working the business. So there's no pressure. They can leave if they want to. I don't think it's too much. And I have had a couple of people message me and be like, what are these groups? And I just say, oh, they're just, the team groups. They're behind the scenes so that you know what's going on with Beachbody. Feel free to leave them if they're overwhelming or just kind of poke around in there. And I just don't make a big deal about it because it's not a big deal. But I add everyone to the team page, and like Kelly's one of my diamond coaches on the call. She had like marked in her calendar when she was going to return her program to get her money back. And she got added to the team page, got inspired, and now is a diamond coach. So you never know where your rock stars are going to come from. So I add everyone to my team page. And then posting, like we just talked about, how you find coaches that want to work the business. That's on you to publicly be sharing your story of what coaching has done for you. And if you're doing that, you're going to recruit discount coaches, but you're also going to recruit people that want to work the business. And I am not in this business to drag someone that doesn't want to work it. There are too many people out there that need this opportunity in their lives, that this could change their lives, that need my help. And I always say I will match your pace. So if you want to walk, I'll walk. You want to run, I'll run. You want to sprint, I will sprint. But I certainly won't be running while you're back there dragging ass. I'm not going to do that. I will support you wherever you're at. So if you just want a discount, I'm so happy to support you on your physical journey and let you be in my challenge groups and whatever, but I'm not going to drag you to work the business. I'll have you in my team page, and if you see something that sparks your interest and you want to, then at that point I would be happy to help share with you more about the coaching opportunity. But you're going to waste so much more energy trying to get people to want to work the business than just going. You'd be better spent just focusing on like crafting posts that are going to attract people to you that are interested in working the business that way, rather than and it's the same, like if you go to Emerald and then one of your coaches goes inactive and you lose your Emerald or they cancel, don't try to get that coach back. That is a waste of your time. Go find the next person that needs your help. That's it. It's like there are too many people that need our help, and if we're focused on all the people that don't want it, then you're focusing on the wrong spot. And I also have to say, so Jason, is that you that just asked that question? Yeah. I love when people are very responsive, and I see you both nodding your head yes a lot. And so I'm like, I love it. Like, I love the feedback. It's so good to like be talking to someone. So good job. Okay. Sorry, Letty, I kind of took over, but do you have anything on that?
No, that was great. And I do feel like that's very frustrating, because I remember my first year, especially when I started to see the vision in this, and I'm like, come on people, like, how do you not want this? And it's frustrating because you know how amazing this business is and you want everyone to feel what you do. But the truth is that I feel like that requires the most patience from our part. And what I would say is just be an awesome coach to your challengers. Like, treat them, I always say give them the VIP treatment, because like Ashlie said, I'd be like in the first, 6 months, maybe a year, like 90% of my coaches were discount coaches. Like, they just signed up for the discount. But a lot of those discount coaches are now rock stars on our team. And I will say that a lot of people also who signed up because they were ready to hit the ground running are now not even coaches on our team anymore. So definitely don't discount the discount coaches, and just love your challengers, love on your discount coaches, love on your challengers, and let them be ready when they are ready. Like, definitely talk about coaching in your challenge groups, and maybe message them a hint here and there, but never force it on them, or never like bombard them with it, because like Ashlie said, if you feel like you're having to force it out of them, it's not going to work. It has to come with them. But like Ashlie, like Maida was once a discount coach. Angie, you were once one of my discount coaches. So a lot of my coaches were once discount coaches. And I just kind of let them come to me when they were ready, or I reached out to them when I felt like they were ready. But it does take patience, which I think is the hard part, but just be a great coach for them. Just be there for your challengers. And then again, like Ashlie said, you got to talk about this business on your social media, because I think Maida was one. I can name a ton of them, but that's how they came to me, because they would see my posts. They would see my posts outside of our challenge groups, how I would talk about how this business was changing my life, or they would see me on cruises. It's funny, like a lot of my coaches, after coming back from like Summit or the Success Club trip or trips like that, they would reach out to me because they see how much fun we're having, and they see that, I don't know, things are real, but that too, a lot of times they're like, okay, I think I'm ready. So yeah, why are you laughing?
Because it sounds like someone just had a serious accident.
Oh, I don't know who that was.
I don't either, but it just sounded like a lot was happening.
Was that John making a shake?
He's not home, but I don't know who that was. It sounded like a construction zone or something.
Yeah, but that's my answer. And Angie and Jason, I know how you guys are in challenge groups. You guys are awesome. You guys post and you guys are there for your challengers, and you guys are like the best motivators and supporters and encouragers for your challengers. Like, I've seen you guys in action, so keep doing that. And then I would just say to apply that fourth vital behavior, right? Be proof that business works. You can definitely do a little bit more of that, and that's gonna get things rolling a little bit quicker for y'all. But I mean, you guys have only been coaches for like 3-4 months. You guys are still fairly new, and to be so new, you guys are doing amazing. So definitely keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing, and a little bit more of the coaching on your social media. Yay.
And yes, Tanisha just asked, should we talk about it without making money yet? Yes, because has coaching impacted your life at all? Like, raise your hand. Yeah, right? Yeah. So, and most of you are not rolling in the money yet. Lenny and I aren't even rolling in the money yet. Like, we're definitely, more, we're not slinging bills, but we're more comfortable now, of course, and this is what we do full time. But there are so many other ways to share this coaching opportunity that have nothing to do with money. So I absolutely think, and it's going to, you're going to have to be creative, and you can't, like, just because Letty and I do this full time now, we had to talk about it when we weren't, when she was a teacher and when I was working full time. And this, for me, one of the biggest things has been the mental thing. So being able, like, part of my job now is to work on myself, and that's huge. So you can talk about that. And how I, made that post today, it had nothing to do about financial, and it just had to do with how I let, even if you're working, so you can say, here's a business meeting I look forward to, or something like that. And just sharing about the community. If you can get to a live event ever, those are amazing times to post about it. But I make a goal to post every single day, and hardly ever is it about finances, actually. I don't post about financial benefits I haven't posted one in a while, which I probably should, coming up just about the freedom that it provides that way. But there's lots of ways, if you can just think about what this has done, like Tanisha, I saw you raise your hand. So even if it's just that you're dreaming bigger, or, you feel inspired, or you like the support in the community and whatever, it's going to be very little things. And it's going to take some creativity probably to start training your brain on how to post like that. Because I know it's something that I'm just new at, kind of. So it takes more work for me to get creative. But just like any of you that started your like page, it's a lot of work in the beginning, and you're thinking like, okay, what do I post now? And you're like stressing about your next post, and then it just becomes more effortless. Like, I don't even think about my page anymore, because it's just like part of my natural life. I just post. And that's what's going to happen with these coaching posts. But they will get easier. But I do think every single one of us, and I've told everyone that I've talked to one-on-one, is to set your goal to be every day or 5 days a week you're going to post about coaching. Because if you set your goal that like 2 times a week you're going to post about it, if you're going to fall short on a goal, why don't you fall short on the 5-day-a-week post rather than the 2-day-a-week? Because if you fall short on 2 days a week, maybe that means no days get posted about coaching. But if you fall short on 5, like, I make a goal of every single day, so maybe I post 4 days a week. But if I made a goal to post 4 days a week, I might only get 1 post up. You know what I mean? So and then bonus, like, amazing, if I get 7 posts up, if I post every single day about coaching, that's a huge win for me. So I don't care if people think that I'm talking too much about it. They're not my tribe. That's not someone that I want on my team then. If I'm annoying them with how this has changed my life, they're not my tribe. So I'm okay with that. And most people are not seeing every single thing you're posting anyway. So make it a goal to post like every single day something about the coach opportunity. You might sound a little bit like a broken record sometimes, but just get creative and always come from a place of feeling really grateful and humbled by it. But I think you can absolutely share about it without having anything to do with finances. Like, you can share a picture or a quote for your personal development and say, so thankful that I have like a hobby or, a side job that helps me work on myself or something like that. Just like little things, because those are the big things to people out there watching you that don't have anything like this in their life. Okay. Was I missing any? Did I miss anything on that, Letty? Right?
Nope.
Did I miss any questions?
Yeah, Shirley asked, yeah, she asked, do you recommend that we have a website separately from our Beachbody website or a blog? And giveaways, do you recommend that for baby coaches? So I will say this, I don't have a website. Maybe that's something I'll do in the future, but I feel like right now that's not my focus. And if you are fairly new, then definitely don't put too many things on your plate. Too much that, what is it? Something you can, take to whatever. Anyways, focus on Facebook or focus on Instagram. Once you get super awesome with that, and once you are hitting Success Club, you're changing lives, you're recruiting coaches, then okay, now maybe, and if you love to write, then yeah, blog would definitely be awesome for you. Definitely not for me because I hate to write. But if that's something that you love to do and you feel like it would be awesome to do, then yeah, I would do it. Would I do it right away? Probably not. Again, until you are comfortable with a like page, and then you're comfortable with your personal page, and you're comfortable with Instagram, because I guess from my personal experience, my main business has come from Facebook. So I made sure that I mastered that first. Not that I'm, super great at it, but I've gotten really good at it. And then I got really good at Instagram before I even thought of diving into something else. But I feel like, I know a lot of people don't really like the Beachbody website just because it can be like overwhelming, but I feel like it's good enough, I guess. And then recommend giveaways. I used to do tons of giveaways when I was a new coach, probably a lot more than I do now, which I probably should do more, but that was always really fun for me. That helped with engagement, that helped with people sharing your page. So I would do tons of giveaways, and sometimes it'd be like one single packet of Shakeology, like, whoever likes this post and shares it and writes done, in the comments, you'll get entered to win. That helped tremendously grow my page in the beginning. So I'm all for giveaways, and it doesn't have to be, something huge that breaks the bank, but that's also another way that you're adding value to your challengers. And if it is Shakeology, you're getting someone to try Shakeology who could potentially in the future buy from you. So definitely giveaways. What do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I would like to have a website, but I feel like kind of our like page and Instagram, like that's our website right now. So I don't think you need one. I think, yeah, giveaways are great. I used to do them more in the beginning as well, but then I just hate going to the post office and stuff. So I was having giveaways, and then I was like holding on to them for so long, and people were like, hey, are you ever going to send that thing? So I realized it just made me look super unprofessional, so I stopped doing them. But, I think that they do get a lot of traction and engagement and shares. So, and people like free stuff. So, yeah, I would recommend them. Yeah, because you don't have to do anything big. And you could even, if you feel brave, do like a 30-minute consultation with you or something, just to talk, and maybe they have questions with you or something. Like, it can be totally free. Yeah, I think giveaways are good.
For sure. Yeah, and then back to the website. I don't have one because I don't like stuff like that. Like, if I do get a website one day, I'm not going to be the one put it together. Like, I'm definitely going to pay someone to do that for me and to handle that for me and to do everything about that website for me, because I just don't like techie things like that. But again, if you are awesome at creating websites and you love it and it's your jam, then definitely go for it. But not if it's going to, like, for me, it would just bring on stress, more work, and I feel like it would be unnecessary because I've been able to be successful without it. Could I be maybe a little bit more successful with it? Maybe, but that time that I'm going to have to invest into this website, I could use it to help my coaches or help my challengers. But again, I'm not good at it, and I don't like that stuff, so.
And I look at, like, lots of top coaches have them, but I look at Danielle, and she still doesn't have a website.
Yeah, she's barely doing up now.
Yeah, she's like, does she have it even? I feel like they're like working on it. So it's coming. But she's been a coach for 5 years, is insanely successful without it. So I don't think you need it. But if it's a passion of yours, like Melanie Nitro, I think that's where she gets a lot of her customers is through her blog. So if it's and you love it, if it's going to be something that, adds to your life and you're excited about, then do it. But if it's just going to be something that stresses you out or is adding a new thing to your plate, then don't do it, I guess, probably.
Definitely.
And to all the people, I was reading the comments that feel like, embarrassed about talking about this or they feel like they're bothering people. I was just listening to a call or a training and from Bonnie Engel. It seems like I'm obsessed with her lately because homegirl knows she knows how to do something right. So she just said a line that I really liked. And she said, when she talks about the coaching opportunity, she's like, I feel like I'm sitting on a gold mine and I'm handing people the treasure maps. And I never heard that before, but it's so, I was like, yeah, that is what we're doing. Every time we get to share the coaching opportunity, it's handing someone a treasure map to our gold mine. Because even if you're not seeing tons of success right now, right away, you are sitting on $1 million business. You have, if you don't give up and you throw your fear to the side and you work it, you will be the CEO of $1 million business. I don't have $1 million business right now, but I know that my business has the potential to be one. So you just have to get out of your own way. That's the hardest part about being a coach is getting out of your own way and stop thinking my posts annoy me. If you think that your posts are annoying people, if all you're doing is posting about coaching and about the fitness programs and your shake and your workout and just beach body, then yeah, you're probably annoying people. You have to also share other things because that's not when I say find the 3 things that are about you, Beachbody is not one of them. There are 3 things separate from Beachbody. And then you're also, you're going to share Beachbody. But one of the best analogies that I ever heard is say you're in the wedding ring business. So you make wedding rings and you want to sell them. If you have a page up, you're not just posting only about your wedding rings because that's not super valuable to people. You're posting all things wedding. So you're posting centerpiece ideas and DJs and bridal gowns and bouquet ideas and all kinds of things. And then that way when you post about your wedding rings, people already trust you as a wedding resource. So they'll probably invest with you with their rings. So it's the same thing with this fitness. You're not just Beachbody. You're all these things. So if you're just posting straight Beachbody and posting images that Beachbody puts out of our programs and you're only talking about how you got your workout in and you drink your shake and all Beachbody, that's not super interesting to people. And you're so much more than that. So you're not annoying people if you're talking about other things in your life. If you're only talking about Beachbody, then change your social media story and include other things in there. But you just have to get out of your own way. Really, there is no difference between Leticia and I and any of you guys. It's just time and consistency and saying F you to fear all the time. Every single day, Leticia and I have to give the middle finger to fear all the time. Every day we have to do things that makes us uncomfortable. And that's the only way to really be successful as a coach. So you have to stop thinking and caring what people think about your posts. If you're annoyed by your posts, then change your social media story. But otherwise, you have to stop caring what people think. You are sitting on a gold mine and you're just handing the treasure maps out. Not everyone's going to want a treasure map because it takes work to get to the gold. But you at least have to do your job of sharing the treasure map.
Agreed.
Okay. I get on these tangents all the time. Okay, I'm missing. What did you see another question here, Letty?
He asked, when you post regarding coaching, do typically end those posts with a call to action? I would say not all of them. If I'm making a post about a sneak peek group, yes, call to action. If I'm making a post about my upcoming new coach training group, Coach Basics, yes. But when I'm just sharing about the business, what it's doing to my life, no, I don't, because I think that's when people maybe get annoyed or it becomes white noise in the newsfeed. If you're always blah, 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 reach out to me, blah, blah, that just becomes white noise. When I talk about coaching, I'm being really genuine and just sharing from the heart, then I'm just sharing. Of course, the way I think about it, I'm dropping breadcrumbs, right? Every time I share, just sometimes it can be as silly as I'm allowed to take naps during the day anytime that I want, right? But those are little breadcrumbs so that when I do make a call to action post, hopefully those people who've been following my breadcrumbs, they've gotten enough breadcrumbs and now they want more because of those breadcrumbs, if that makes sense. So I would say a call to action, usually about coaching, maybe twice a month that I do, but I talk about coaching almost every single day.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I don't do call to actions a lot. Specifically to me, I do, mine are a lot of like thinking call to action. So I'll be like, paint a story, and I always try to talk from a really grateful perspective. So I'll talk about where I was to where I am now and why I'm so grateful. And then I'll say something like, if you feel like something's missing in your life, do something about it. Or if you feel like you're just checking boxes, know that there's more out there. So I do like a call to action like that, not necessarily to me, but like more for themselves to kind of gut check themselves where they're at in their life. And then, do the call to action like with the sneak peek a couple times a month, but mostly I'm just telling stories. The other coach that's really good at this, and she's kind of like hippie and very soulful, she's from Oregon. Her name's Steph Davies, and she does a really good job of sharing all the time. She's always like, I remember back when blah, 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 blah. I was working 2 jobs and my husband was working 2 jobs and we never have any of these family times together, and now this. She's very sweet and humble and gracious about it. And so that's another good coach to follow to get some inspiration on how she kind of words things and shares things. And I remember she just posted recently another idea about coaching was how she was able to buy organic produce at the store because of coaching, and before coaching she couldn't. And then I've had other people say, like, when they're with their kids at the store and the kids want fruit and fruit's expensive, like produce is expensive, and then having to say no and how that would break their heart, but now they can buy fruit. So it's like little tiny things that you can share about coaching. But anyway, so Steph's another one to follow, to learn, get some inspiration on how else you can share coaching. And she doesn't do a lot of call to action either. It's just every so often, of course.
Yeah, and that's that you mentioned that, Ashley, that's something that I always tell my coaches is find coaches that you connect with or you relate to on social media who do an awesome job at what you want to be awesome at. Like if you want to be awesome at talking more about this business, but in a very genuine and very natural way, then follow someone who does it, and then not, steal their ideas, but definitely take their posts and figure out how can I now make a post similar to this, but of course with my words, with my story. That's how I got it, because I think it's very normal for people to kind of be iffy about talking about the coaching opportunity or not even know how to do it, because I was one of them. And the first coaches that I started to follow was Anita Myron. So every time she would comment, I'm like, post, I'm like, that is such a good post. And I'm like, and I would take it, how can I now turn it around and make it my own? That helped me a lot. And now I don't need to do that anymore, but I still follow top coaches that I feel inspired by, because there is some days where I have no idea what to post and I want to make a really good post. And so I still do that until now. So if you don't know any coaches, go to the back office under the success tab, and there you'll find like the top 25 or top 50, whatever coaches, and definitely follow those who, again, you are inspired by, or you feel, you can relate to them. That helps a lot. I feel.
I'm reading Shirley's thing where you say it's a huge checklist, and it can sometimes feel like it's a lot of work, but I think probably why it feels like a lot of work is what we do a lot is think that we're working when we're not. And you go on your newsfeed to post something or whatever, and then you get lost in your newsfeed, and you've been working for an hour and you haven't got a single thing done. And like when you read your list, post in the groups, post on IG, post on Facebook, post on Like Page, post about Beachbody, post something personal. So post on 5 of those 6 things are all the same thing. Post on IG, post on Facebook, post on your Like Page. That's all the same thing. You can just put that one post on all the different pages. So it doesn't have to be like an additional thing on your to-do list. And posting about Beachbody and posting something personal, that it shouldn't be a lot. So if it feels like, because reading through that list, that's not that much. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's probably because you're doing a lot of work without actually working. So it's not paying off in your business growing, because you're getting stuck in the news feed, or you're getting hung up on something, or, whatever. So I think just, don't get freaked out about the things you have to do. You want to post 3 to 5 times a day. So when I was working full time, I would wake up, I would do a post on social media publicly, and it was like a motivational post or something. Then I'd do my workout. I'd film myself with my workout so that I would have that to do later. And then, sorry, I was reading this comment. And then I would check in with my groups while I was like cooling down. So you might maybe have to get up a little bit earlier, but that was it. Then I would check in with my groups and I'd be done till the evening. I don't worry about them all day. If you're getting notifications on your phone still, turn them off. You don't need to get back to people right away. People can wait a day. So then I would go to work and I would work on my workout post, either on my way to work or sometime in the morning. Then I'd get my workout post up, and then I wouldn't worry about it. On lunch, maybe I'd get something else up. And then I'd go to work in the afternoon. Sometimes I scheduled calls on my lunch with like prospects or things like that. Sometimes I didn't. I would maybe walk the dogs and put my headphones in, and then go to work, do my afternoon. I'd come home, and that's when I would do my messages, and I would check in with my group one more time, and I would not get back to my messages until the next day. So you just have to set a schedule for yourself. And yes, it felt like I had a lot, because I was going from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. was like my shut off time. So I was going from 6 to 8 with the 2 jobs. And then at 8 p.m. I would like shut down and zone out with the TV. And then I would do it again the next day. But I did that for a year and a half, and now I work for myself. So it's gonna take some sacrifice, and it's gonna feel like a lot, and it will be a lot, but make sure you set boundaries for yourself. So I always, for the first year, I didn't really do this, but the last like 6 to 8 months, I took the weekends off. I know Letty, still, we both take the weekends off. We post on social media, but we don't get back to messages. We don't do any work. You guys probably know, because we don't check in with our groups. Or we don't check in, do like training with our team pages or whatever. You still check in with your groups, but you just don't, you have to set boundaries for yourself, and then respect those boundaries so that you don't get overwhelmed. Because it's way better to build your business slower over 5 years than to zoom to diamond, get so burned out that you have no social life left, and then you quit, and then you have nothing to show for it. So, just be patient with yourself, set boundaries, and then respect those boundaries. So if my shut off time is 8 p.m., I would have to shut off at 8 p.m. and know that maybe if someone's like really anxious and they need to buy the program, I've had people go to Amazon, and I just have to be okay with that. I just have to be okay. That's like not very common, but if someone really wants to order the program and they don't hear from me from Friday evening until Monday morning, they go buy the program on Amazon or eBay or something like that, or just the Beachbody website in the 3-payment plan over the weekend. That's a risk that we all need to take for having sanity in our business. This business is supposed to provide you with more freedom. So it will take some sacrifice in the short term, for sure. You're gonna have to cut out some of your fun stuff that you do, and you're gonna cut down on your TV time and whatever, but you can get this all in. And if it's feeling overwhelming, just figure out a better schedule for yourself and respect that.
Can I talk? I have a question.
Yes.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. So about boundaries, I was talking to Tracy today, my success partner, and I was talking about friend requesting. Like, I just ran, whoever, I don't even care. As long as they're a female, I send them a request. I don't look at anything except for that they're a female. And she was like, well, I don't know if that's like really stepping on toes. Like, I don't like to friend request a lot of people that already have friends of other coaches, but I don't know. What do you guys think about friend requesting and boundaries? Or
the only thing that I look at, yes, if they're female, but 2, I look at their mutual friends, because if all of their friends are like, or a lot of their mutual friends are coaches, then probably I'm guessing they're probably a coach already. If they have like 1 or 2 friends, if I have 30 friends in common and like 1 or 2 of them are coaches, then I still send them a friend request, because I think it's really important to sign up with the right coach, and maybe the coaches that, like, I did this last night. Someone was also friends with Steph Davies, and Steph Davies is highly successful. So maybe you would think, like, okay, well, I'm not going to friend request her because she's friends with Steph Davies, and if she wants to be a coach, she'll enroll with Steph Davies. But Steph Davies and I are very different people, and we have 30 other friends in common. So maybe she'll be connect more with me and my story. Who knows? And I'm not there to take anything from Steph, but I don't feel like that's stepping on toes because her and I are so different. And maybe that girl's already a coach now, but I don't think so because we had so many friends in common, and only Steph was our the only coach one that I saw. But so I guess I don't really think too much about boundaries, but I don't send friend requests to people that I think are already coaches or have a lot of coach friends because I assume then that they're already coaches, and then that's not really worth your friend request. But Letty, what do you do?
Yeah, so I check the same thing. Like if they're friends with a lot of coaches, and then the odds are they're probably already coach. But yeah, the same thing. Like if maybe we have now. If it's like a friend, if it's a mutual friend of someone in my downline, then I don't I don't friend request them. Like if it's a mutual friend of one of my coaches.
Right.
I don't. But if it's a mutual friend of another coach on another team that I don't really even know, I just know via social media, then yeah, I probably will, because like Ashlie said, they might not relate to that coach. They might relate more to me. And I've actually had someone who once wanted to join my sneak peek, and she was a mutual friend of Rhonda Race, and I do know Rhonda Race, even though we're not on the same team. So whenever she wanted to be my sneak peek, I messaged Rhonda and I'm like, hey, this girl wants to sign up as a coach. Do you want to reach out to her? Rhonda's like, oh, I don't really know her. Like, it's fine. She can sign up with you or whatever. But I did, pay respect just because I do know Rhonda. But had it been someone that I don't really know, then if she wanted to sign up with me, then, she wanted to sign with me, because even, let's just say they are friends with that other coach. They might not really be friends. It might just be Facebook friends. If that makes any sense. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like on a case-by-case scenario. But I try to not friend request anyone who has a whole bunch of friends with the whole bunch of coaches, or with my downline. Any other questions? Or did that help? Let's see. Do you have any other questions, Ash?
I don't think so. Rach, did that answer yours? Yeah, okay, cool.
Someone asked where do we get stuff to get giveaways. So on the back office, you just go to the back office. Like if you want it to be Beachbody related, which I feel like it'd be a good idea. Like now they have those 10 packs. If you guys saw of Energize and Hydrate, they make them in a cute little pack. So that'd be an awesome. I think we pay like $12 for it. You get a 10. You can give it away, give the whole box away. But that's super inexpensive. They also have the Shakeology tote bags. I buy a lot of those. I think they come in a 5-pack and they're like $12. Again, that's another inexpensive gift. So if you want it to be Beachbody gift, you buy those stuff in your back office and with your coach discount, and you get volume off of it. Well, something. Yeah, you do. And what is that called? That's called? I don't know. Shoot, I forgot.
Cycle?
Oh, I guess it is volume.
Yeah, I think volume. Okay. I guess that's it. No other questions from anyone?
Speak now, forever.
Who? Bethany. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so talking about social media and all that, and I know I know I'm not quite there yet and I don't need a like page, but a lot of people are saying it's super discouraging to have one before you're diamond. I like a lot of people's opinions. And I was told by a few people that it's discouraging because a lot of people will start like page and anticipate a lot of interest from the like page. I was just wondering what your guys' take on that was. And then also, second question is, for those of us who do work a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or whatever, and we're posting 3 times a day. Do you have like a go-to post that's super quick and easy just to put up to inspire to, I guess, like just get your name on the feed more? Or
I saw Kelly had a comment.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, to answer your first question, Bethany, my like page, I've had it for a year, and I've probably maybe had 10 Success Club points out of a year from my like page. It hasn't been a lot. It's mainly from my warm market, so that's something to take into consideration. So that's a comment that I wanted to make about that. And then I usually keep posts like in my notes on my phone, like before I did start my like page and could schedule them. I used to keep notes on my phone of things that I would think of to just quickly copy and paste into Facebook to get something posted while I was at work.
Yeah.
About the like page, I don't feel like you have to be a certain rank to get one. You definitely don't have to wait for it. What I do tell my coaches is, I know everyone has like their own opinions about it, and that's the beauty of this business, right? I love it. There's so many ways that you can run your business, but my personal opinion about that is to first get comfortable with your personal page. Once you're comfortable with your personal page and you're hitting Success Club and you're running challenge groups, then I would move on to a like page, because there's so many pros and cons to a like page. So if you don't feel like you're ready to have one, it is going to be a lot of work, and it's probably not going to be very effective if you don't have a lot of time to invest in it, and to build up your following from day one. And then so I say wait. I know there's coaches, like Danielle says, get one right away. I don't believe in that, because it is a lot of work. And when you're new, I feel like you're trying to go to the coach basis and you're trying to learn this and you're trying to learn that. It's just it can be so overwhelming. So for me, like for my new coaches, I have them focus on get through the coach basis, get your first challenge group going, hit Success Club. Now let's get you to Emerald. Now let's get you to Success Club for 3 months. Let's get you to earn that, free ticket to Summit. And then after that, I feel like once you feel like, okay, this is going, I am helping people, I'm changing lives, maybe I can open a like page. But definitely do eventually open one, because you can boost your posts, run ads. You can grow your like page, which means more eyeballs on you. What was your other question? What she said about? Oh yeah, an app that Buffer app, Buffer. I love that app. I use it now, even though I work from home. I still schedule a lot of my posts in my challenge groups. Not so much on my like page anymore, but I did when I was a teacher. So it's Buffer. I love it. It's really user friendly on your phone and on your laptop. I think that was it. Oh, and then when I was a teacher, I would sit down on the weekend, like on a Saturday or on a Sunday, and I would go through Pinterest, or I would kind of more or less know what I wanted to post each day, so that when I was a teacher and the kids were at recess, quick, copy and paste, or the kids were at PE, quick, copy and paste. So I tried to have my posts beforehand, so that when I did get a few seconds here and there throughout the day, I would just copy and post. But I would do my best for those posts to be, be thought of, not just I randomly selected things. If you're going to post, make sure it's either motivating or it's going to help someone in some way. Don't post just to post. Make sure it has a purpose to it.
One thing that I was doing when I was working full-time is we all sit in bed and we scroll at night, right? All of us scroll social media. So one thing that I was doing is I would make my morning post the night before when I was in bed. So maybe I got inspiration from when I was scrolling, or I had a picture, an old picture or something, or a quote that I saw or whatever. So I'd make that post and I'd be able to copy and paste it in the morning. That'd be really quick. You don't need to have I think it's great to have a post up at lunch, but it doesn't have to be super meaningful or long-winded or whatever, because no one's really seeing a whole lot then anyway. And then having, your bigger posts in the evening or when there's high traffic times where you're inviting people and stuff like that. But that's one thing that I did for the early morning one was a lot of times at night I would make that post that I was going to just throw out the next morning for the motivational piece. And then as far as the like page, I think you'll hear, like Letty said, from everyone has a different opinion. I started my like page immediately when I decided that I wanted to coach because I was really insecure back then, and I really struggled with what people thought of me, and I was afraid that my friends would judge me. So I started a like page, so I had like more anonymity, whatever that word is. And then I was very diligent about owning it, because when you have a like page, it is a job, and there is more pressure with that to keep your engagement level up. You have to be active on there. So if you're not ready to commit, like Shirley, I would not recommend probably a like page for you if you're uncomfortable with posting a lot now. Unless you already have one, then just stick with it. But if you don't have one, don't stress about setting one up yet, because if you're already uncomfortable with posting, a like page requires you to post. You have to show up every single day. So I would say start with your personal page, and then I would also recommend doing an Instagram account, because you can be that. If I were a brand new coach, I would like to start on my personal page and then build through my Instagram market, because I just think Instagram is more user friendly, and they don't switch the algorithm all the time. Like if people follow you, they just see your stuff in their scroll. Whereas Facebook, you can like pages and not see the stuff in the newsfeed. And people can search you through hashtags, and you can have a very focused account based on fitness and stuff. And there's lots of beach bodies, like Brittany Powers is a top 10 coach. She was number 10 this year, and she does her business primarily through Instagram. So, and I think it takes a lot less work than a like page does. So if you want to kind of have that public forum or anonymous kind of place to go, I would go to Instagram before I'd start a like page. At some point you will want to start a like page, probably.
Yeah, I have Instagram, I have Facebook, but I think, and I don't know how new a lot of the coaches are on the pages, but it seems like, I think it was Shirley that was saying that it's kind of, I don't want to annoy anybody kind of thing. And so the like page will get you to, I don't know if it's more of like kind of removing your passion for Beachbody and placing it in another place, so that way all your current Facebook friends aren't annoyed, kind of thing. And I mean, I don't know, I think that like I just posted something this morning about fitness or whatever, and I said some of you are going to disagree, some of you are going to be annoyed, but for those of you who understand, you're my tribe. Thanks for like all the encouragement and whatever. But and I think that people will naturally, like you're saying, will just fall off because they don't want to follow you. They don't want to see that all the time, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But I guess my whole point in saying that is, my other question is, a lot of people that don't see a lot of activity from their like page, do you think that a lot of people see your like page and then go to your personal page and contact you through your personal page because of your like page?
I think every business is totally different, and I think this is probably going to sound harsh, but I don't mean it like this at all. I think we just have to stop comparing, because I could give you examples of everyone, like people who don't use like pages and only use their personal pages, who are successful. Steph Davies is an example of someone. She went 15-star qualifying. I'm not sure if she ever achieved it. She went 15-star qualifying and she had 2,000 likes on her page. So that, it has, like, your success level has nothing to do with the amount of likes. And that's what we all do. We all compare. And you think that, like, the more likes you get, the more successful you'll be. But that's not. There are coaches that also have over 100,000 likes on their page that you've never heard their name before, because they're all about likes. So I just feel like you just need to focus on being very authentically wherever you're going to show up. If it's Instagram, your personal page, your like page, be authentic, showing up how you want to be. If you have a like page and people unfollow you, like, I celebrate that. When I just posted last week something about, it was the first time I think I've ever said the word suicide on my pages, my public pages, and I got like 25 unlikes. And first I was like, oh my gosh, I guess people want me to talk about that. And I was like, fine, That's a celebration. They are not my tribe. If you don't want to hear the struggles that I've been through, you're not my tribe. That is a celebration. And then the next morning I woke up and I had like 10 new likes and they saw that post, you know? So every time you get an unlike, you're just getting closer to your tribe. So I think we just have to stop overthinking the numbers thing. I think you show up, decide how much you want to show up. And Jason said, Shirley, you're rocking your page. So I didn't mean to say like, don't have your page. If you're rocking your page, have your page. And I'm sorry that it feels like a lot of work, but it will get easier for sure. It will just become more of your habit of your life. So keep doing that. Keep rocking your page. But just stop putting pressure on things. I hear a lot of people like, how many messages do you send? And when's the right time to follow up? And like, just be authentically you. You don't overthink it. We get so in our head about things, and literally likes have nothing to do with it. They have nothing. If you go through like top coaches, all their pages are going to be different. All their posts are different. But what they do is they show up authentically as who they are, speaking to their tribe. Amy Silverman, you guys probably know that name, right? If you're a new coach, she's been a top 10 coach for 3 years. She is like very niche market, like wild child, wanderlust, or what's that? Whatever, wanderlust maybe is the word. You know, she has like tattoos. She's kind of hippie, all about organic. She thinks alcohol is poison. Clearly not my tribe. I love alcohol, you know? So it doesn't matter how someone's talking. It doesn't matter how many likes you have. It doesn't matter what platform you use. I think you can connect with people on any platform as long as you show up authentically as you and you're consistent with it. So 3 to 4 times a day on Facebook, probably similar. You can do more or less on Instagram. I'm not as familiar with that. Letty's better with that. But I just think don't compare and see like Letty and I, we have a lot of likes on our like page, but we're not successful because of our like pages. We're successful because we put in the work every single day behind the scenes. And if you look at Bonnie Engel, who I have been like checking out a lot lately because she blows me away with her statistics, her like page is very quiet. It's not people are always, some people say put a call to action on every post. Bonnie puts a call to action on no posts. Sometimes she posts like once every 3 days and she's a top 10 coach, and it's because of the work she does behind the scenes. So it's not really, you can't take everything you see on public as face value, saying that there's one reason that you're successful or another reason that you're not. I just think, you know, just do you and decide what works for you and then stick to it and don't give up, and then tweak that a little bit to make it better all the time. But don't get too hung up in the numbers of, you know, likes and whatever. Yes. Jason, I don't know. Your what? Jason's wife?
Angie.
What is it, Angie?
That's messed up. Angie's wife. Jason's wife. I feel like
it says Jason on the thing.
Yeah, that's me.
Like the name says Jason, so I didn't know.
I thought that was funny though. Because you know when you go to school, you're like your son's mom. You're never Angie.
Yeah. Sorry.
But you're rocking the call. Thank you. You and Shirley's liking her like page. You're rocking the call. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I feel like obviously one of the things that I'm pushing to do is a like page, and I also feel that my real reason, and I'm just sharing that just in case anyone else is that I don't feel that a part of me is feeling like I'm not really getting the response that I want, but I think it's all about the patience, which I'm clearly struggling with. But the reason why I think I just want to connect more with more like-minded people. So I think that's my real reason for moving there to a like page. But I totally agree. I feel like I'm following a lot of top different coaches, and you're right. They all have their different formulas that works for different people. So I think that's a really good point to make. I'm following big coaches, and they all so different, all very different. You have similarities, but a lot of differences. And I think that's you just have to do, which I'm learning and I'm talking myself through every day, is that I just have to do it. I just have to make it my own and stop worrying about how many posts I make a day. That's how I feel. I don't know. Just feel like, but I feel like anyone could, like, I don't feel like I'm great at Instagram. I think Jason's better at Instagram. Everybody has their weaknesses and strengths.
Yeah, and I also feel like I think the reason that we all want likes is because then we think it's going to get easier and you're going to have more people coming to you, which isn't necessarily true. I think that what we need, instead of focusing on how many likes we have on our pages, I think we need to focus on how many conversations we're starting behind the scenes, because that's really where the rubber meets the road and where you're going to see your business grow. Your page can grow. You can have a viral, like there's a girl that I heard, she's on Fit and Funky, and she had a video that went viral and like millions of people saw it or something. But she's a diamond coach now, and she wasn't interested in working the business before, so now she's diamond. But that still like doesn't make her shoot to the. If millions of people see a post, you would think, oh wow, okay, I've made it, now I'm successful. But she wasn't in the top 10 this year because you still have to do the work behind the scenes, you know. So I think that's totally right, Angie. Focus on, you know, doing what works for you, showing up authentic. If you really want to connect with people, the best way to connect with people is being really raw and like sharing things that you're vulnerable and embarrassed about, because it makes people realize you're human, and then they kind of come out and like support you, and then also ask for help for that same thing that you're going through or whatever.
So true.
Yeah.
Two things have happened to me. A week ago, I talked about how I was feeling down in a post. I got a weird message the next day. Not a weird message, but it like threw me off because I'm like, no one's reading this crap, right? So the next day, my friend, who I've been talking to for a while about this journey, said, I really know what you're. I read your post last night, and I know how you feel. So I was like, oh wow, like that it really touched me, because I was like, okay, so I know she's listening, and I hope eventually she will become part of my tribe. And then today, of course, I'm still dealing with some kind of like down, obviously, and thinking about where am I going with this and how I so want to do it. It's not about giving up. It's just really about finding my way as a coach is what I'm struggling with, trying to figure it all out, basically. And today, right before I went to work out, someone tagged me on a post that her and her husband are thanking us for working out and encouraging her. And she's never liked any of my posts, never liked any of my posts. And I've never even had a conversation with her about Beachbody.
Yeah,
so,
and that is going to happen.
And I needed that.
Yeah, it's going to happen all the time. One, you're going to doubt yourself all the time. Letty and I like struggled big time in December. We were like, oh my gosh. And you think, oh, they're 5-star elite coaches, everything's just rosy. Like, it still is hard. It's a different hard because, you know, there is still success here, but you're never, as soon as you start coasting, you're done. I mean, I don't want to ever stop growing or ever stop being challenged. Then I'd rather be dead. Like, as soon as you stop learning and stop, you know, so it's very normal. All of you on this call will toy with quitting and think about where's your place in this. And it will be very hard, but know that is very normal. And the more that you continue to show up and you get vulnerable and share those things, the more you'll have those silent followers come out and thank you for doing that and inspiring them. So, and this just goes for everyone. Like, if you've thought about quitting, you're normal. I'm so glad that you didn't. Stick with it. It's not going to be the last time you think about quitting, because it happened. Like, if I hadn't left my job, I would have thought about quitting in December. It was that hard for me, but I couldn't, because I have this huge team and I left my job. All of my eggs are in this basket. So I couldn't even think about quitting, which I never, even if I thought about quitting, I never would, because there's too much amazing stuff in this business. But I just want you to know, no matter where you're at in this business, there's going to be struggles. And so, you know, you just have to keep showing up and inspiring people. And the only way out is through. I say that all the time, but action promotes movement. So you have to keep doing your 3 vital behaviors, keep showing up. Your business is going to keep moving forward. And eventually you'll get through this lull that it sounds like you're in right now, Angie, that probably several of you guys have been in. Mm-hmm. You just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. I don't know, Letty, I feel like I'm totally monopolizing this. So do you want to take it?
Fine, take it away. No, I would just say, you know, just the same thing that you've been saying. Like, don't overthink things, guys. Like we were saying, like so many top coaches run their businesses different ways. I know some of you are like, should I keep posting on my personal page? Should I open up a like page? When I do have a like page, do I still keep, posting on my personal page? And you never move forward because you're letting all of those thoughts, you're overthinking things. Like Anita Myron, if you go to her like page, she gets very little likes. She's in the top 10 for the second year in a row. Danielle, she's all about just like page, don't post on your personal page. That works for her. That doesn't work for me. I love posting on both. I'm able to change lives on both my like page and on my personal page. I've just been able to play around with it and find a balance through it. And then those of you who are saying, I'm afraid that people are going to get annoyed by me, you got to stop thinking like that. You just got to stop thinking like that. You got to stop caring. Because I remember when I was stuck at Emerald for like almost a year, that's why I was stuck at Emerald. I had all these fears getting in my freaking way. And every time I would go make a post, I would think, oh, what's this person gonna think? What's that person? I was more concerned with what others were gonna think versus about my business. And it wasn't until I just one day said, you know what? Like, I don't care anymore. If I annoy people, bye. Like, those people who get annoyed, they're never going to be in your challenge groups or in your part of your team, because they're annoyed by you. They're not part of your tribe. So stop caring about those people. The people who will be inspired by you, will be motivated, will tag you like they tagged Angie and Jason. They will message you out of the blue who've never liked me. Those are the people who are not going to get annoyed and who you want to keep inspiring, who you want to keep motivating. But you just got to get out of your head. You got to do more personal development, because that's where getting over your fears, that's where you stop caring about what others think of you. It all comes for personal development. I mean, that's very, very normal when you're a new coach, because it's all so new, but you just have to get over that and stop overthinking things and play around with the like page, play around with Instagram, play around with your personal page until you find what works for you. And if that coach does it that way, let her do it that way. You do what works for you. Now, if it's not working for you, obviously tweak it and do take other people's tips and, oh, she's doing this, well, let me try it. Definitely don't stay grounded if something's not working, but once you do find what works for you, do that, and just make it work. Like, I know people ask me, like, you do such a good job of posting on both your personal page and your like page. Like, I don't really have a system. I just found that kind of works for me. And even though Danielle's told me before, or she's told us, don't post on your personal page, I'm sorry, I'm not Danielle, I'm Leticia, and I like posting on my personal page, and it works for me, so I'm going to do that. That's just what I wanted to say about that.
So all you have to do is show up, right? Just show up in whatever way works for you, but consistently. I really think, like, if we all focused on helping 3 people a month instead of how many likes we had on our like page, your businesses would be so much more than they are right now. You just have to focus on helping 3 people a month. And that happens behind the scenes. It doesn't really happen in public on your page. So hit Success Club every month, every single month without fail. Decide you're going to do it. That's going to grow your business more than your page or any amount of likes you get. So I think just focus on the right stuff. Focus on the vital behaviors, the 3 vital behaviors, and helping people. And then, like Letty said, get out of your own way. Just stop letting fear control you, because if you were stuck at Emerald for a year, you're stuck at Emerald. Like, that, you're doing that to yourself. We're doing that to ourselves. It's not because we're crappy coaches. It's because we put a roadblock up in front of us. When we take that away, that's when, Letty's now a 5-star elite coach. Yeah, because she got out of her own way.
And I'm not saying that it's not scary anymore, because there's sometimes I make a post and I'm being super vulnerable, or I'm sharing something I don't want to share. It is still scary. I am still afraid, but I just know that if it's scary, it's what I have to do. And I've learned that the more I get out of my comfort zone, the more I get out of my way, is the more I am growing as a person and in my business. So don't get me wrong. There's still times where I'm like, I hit post and I will like just, close my eyes or turn off the computer or whatever. I mean, there's things that I do all the time that scare the crap out of me. Like, I'd rather get 2 bikini waxes back to back than do some of the crap that I had to do last year. Like, honestly, it's that bad. But I do it because I know I have to. Like, if it scares the crap out of you, that's exactly what you need to do. It's only going to help you grow more and more and more.
And Bethany, you just made a good point that when you stop caring who saw and approve, disapprove what you post, you get so much more support from your tribe. That's exactly what happened to me when I started opening up about things and like speaking specifically to a market. That's when I actually got a tribe. I just felt like I was going after the likes and stuff before. And when I started like speaking my truth and authentically and not caring what people thought or if they were annoyed or whatever, that's when I started getting like people that would just come out and be like, I love you, and they've never met me before. But that's when you get those people. That's when you get your tribe, is when you just stop caring what people think. It really is.
Yes. Do you want to?
Okay. I feel like we are taking all night, so but this was good conversation. So thank you guys for all the questions. So what do you think, Letty?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Because it's going over an hour and a half now. I know we got some more questions, but we can save those for the next. Like Ashlie said, we're going to do these once a month, the last week of every month. So if you didn't get your a question answered, then save it so that you can ask it next time. That sounds a good deal.
Cool. Okay. Good. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed this call. It's always super fun for us when we get to just interact with you guys and figure out what's going on in your lives. So thanks for asking me all the questions and hanging out with us for an hour and a half. This might be the longest call I've ever done.
I know, it doesn't even seem that. Like when you're having fun and you love what you do, like Roca.
This is Roca. Brewer's over there.
Roca's always on you.
Yeah, I know.
So cute.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love you all.
Love you.